If you're a new convert to Orthodox Christianity, stay tuned. This is most likely one of the most important videos you're going to see. You might be all fired up about Eastern Orthodoxy, but here's a truth bomb. You've got to take a step back and recognize that your zeal as a new convert, regardless of how admirable it may be, isn't the whole picture. You're in the honeymoon phase right now. The excitement blinds you to the nuances, the real earthly experience of faith that cradle believers have come to understand over time. Sure, you can rattle off history and theology all day long, but real orthodoxy isn't just about reading books, memorizing dates, saints, and watching YouTube videos. It's not all about the theoretical or abstract stuff. It's about lived experience. Let me break this down. Eastern Orthodoxy is deeply rooted in culture, especially when it comes to the way people practice it. Whether we like it or not, it's tied to ethnic identities in a way Catholicism, Protestantism, and many other religions are not. This means that someone who grew up in a Russian, Bulgarian, or Romanian Orthodox family doesn't just know the theology, for example. They breathe the culture, the rituals, and the traditions. For a Midwest WASP who converts to Greek Orthodoxy, for instance, they're trying to adopt something they didn't grow up with, and it's not always going to click. It may, but it also may not. Even if the liturgy is in English, there's a cultural gap and past experiences that one simply cannot ignore. Now here's the kicker. The quote-unquote cultural Orthodox Christians, the ones who barely take their faith seriously but still go to church out of a cultural or a traditionally felt obligation, they often get something that you don't. Why? Because they've lived it. They've simply experienced the physicality of it all for much longer than a new convert could have. You can know all the theology in the world and they can't know a single word of it. But the experience of growing up with it, of being immersed in it, gives them insights that you just can't replicate by reading books or articles online. Whilst it is definitely beneficial knowing history and information about the Orthodox Church, Orthodoxy isn't just about ideologies. It's about a shared life in community. Jesus wasn't a concept, he was a person. Following him isn't just about having the right answers or adhering to every moral teaching or knowing every piece of information like the back of your hand. It's about communion, ladies and gentlemen, belonging, living life together. Ethnic Orthodox Christians get this in a way that you as a convert won't, at least for a very long time. Take a look at a saint feast or name day in some rural Serbian village, for instance. The day starts with hours of liturgy, then goes straight into a night of music, dancing, eating, drinking, and celebrating the saint until sunrise in many occasions. The cultural side of the feast is just as essential as the religious rituals. If you're not in tune with the culture, you miss the full experience of veneration. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't convert to Orthodoxy or that you're somehow less worthy of it if you don't belong to a certain ethnic group who is deemed to be traditionally Orthodox. What I'm saying is that you need to be aware of what you're missing. The cultural depth of Orthodoxy shapes the whole experience, and it's something you can't just learn online. Faith isn't something you create for yourself. It's a gift. One that comes with personal choice and a whole community behind it. So before you get too caught up in your research and spending hours upon hours on YouTube, remember, faith is not about choosing based on what you think is best. It's about belonging to something much bigger than yourself. Yes, zeal for sanctity and living out your faith are crucial, but don't forget the culture of the faith is a living, breathing part of it. You can't just skip that and expect to understand everything. Don't feel like you need to have all the answers memorized and ready to win every argument. You're still on the journey. The rest of us have been on this journey a lot longer, and trust me, we've got some insights that you just can't Google. Alright, let's wrap this up with some strong advice for all new converts out there, especially the ones getting caught up in the online orthodoxy echo chamber. First off, stop treating orthodoxy like a DIY project. It's not a puzzle you solve by reading articles or watching videos. I'll reiterate this again. Yes, knowledge is important, but you need to immerse yourself in the lived experience of the church. That means get yourself into an actual parish, get involved with the community, and start understanding what it really means to belong. This isn't about just ticking boxes on some theological checklist. It's about joining a community that's been living this faith for centuries. Second, slow down. The enthusiasm you feel right now is definitely great, but it can also blind you to the depth of the tradition. Orthodoxy isn't something you can just pick up and master in a year or two. Take your time, learn through relationships, observe the rituals, and let the faith sink into your bones. Real orthodoxy is lived, not studied from a distance. The more you rush, the more you risk reducing this ancient faith to just an ideology. Third, get ready to confront the messiness of the faith. Yes, orthodoxy is beautiful and deep and mystical, but it is also not perfect. There are contradictions, flaws, and struggles in every parish, in every community. It's not a pristine ideological system. It's a living, breathing church of broken people trying to make their way to Christ. So when you find things that don't fit your idealized version of orthodoxy, whatever that may be, don't freak out. This is part of the journey. Embrace the imperfections because that's where real growth happens. Lastly, don't forget that orthodoxy is more than just an intellectual pursuit. You're joining a tradition that's about life together, not just ideas. The key to understanding the faith isn't found in your online research or your private prayers. It's found in the real, gritty, lived out community. So build relationships, get to know the people around you, and start living this faith not as a theory, but as a shared way of life. So in short, get off the internet, guys. Get into the real community and stop treating orthodoxy like it's an intellectual hobby. Like you need to have every single piece of information in your head. It's a lifestyle, guys. A deep connection to centuries of tradition, culture, and above all, a shared life of Christ. You can't experience that through your screen. My family have been Orthodox well before we can even remember, and this is going back well into the Ottoman Empire. None of them had a screen. None of them had internet. None of them had a phone. They just knew that they were Orthodox Christians and they went to church and experienced it as much as they could. And only by stepping into the fullness of the church will you truly understand what it means to be Orthodox. And trust me, it's worth it. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you're new to Orthodoxy, that you took something away from this that will benefit you moving forward. I would like to add here that if you are in fact a new convert, I am so happy that you have found the true path to Christ. And please, let me and everyone else reading know your story or experiences in the comments section below. Remember to also follow Orthodox Handmade on both Instagram and Facebook, where you can see all the custom Orthodox prayer ropes and unique crystal icons that I hand make for the faithful all around the world. If you found this episode insightful, please be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more. Be sure to stay tuned and watch the upcoming episode highlighting 12 undeniable reasons why I am an Orthodox Christian that will appear on your screen now. Thank you again for tuning in, everybody, and until next time, stay safe and God bless. Славите Господа, за что